Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cam, aka the Honky Tonk Hair Machine, with the Rugged Revival Podcast. Who am I with today?
This is Justin Wells out of Lexington, Kentucky.
Justin. Thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Cam, man. Thanks for the patience in the scheduling.
My pleasure. So, I like to open our conversations with this question. It kind of gives us a little peek behind the curtain of who you are. If you don't mind, tell us where you're from originally and what's your favorite childhood memory.
Oh, good. Uh, I'm originally, man. It's no matter what, I will irritate somebody from one of these places, but I'm originally from Blanchard, Louisiana, but I moved to Kentucky when I was like 12 or 13 years old. I'll claim Kentucky. I'm a proud Kentuckian, but I'm a little different from them. Uh, and I moved to a town called Cynthiana, Kentucky, which is kind of between Lexington and Cincinnati. It's not Appalachia. This is important with people in our genre because the redhead kid got a lot of people thinking they know a lot about Kentucky and they know a lot about a particular part of Kentucky.
That's right.
Um, so I'm kind of a mutt, you know. And favorite childhood memory, man. That is so on the spot. Down in Louisiana, I remember my dad would hit me baseballs like pop flies. We had 8 acres in Blanchard, and my dad would just hit pop flies to me, and it was pretty good. And he was no more an athlete than I ended up being. So that's pretty cool that he would do that and seemingly do it well. Um, yeah, dude. And then in Cynthiana, it's less childhood, but I remember getting my first band together. I was a freshman in high school, and we were playing Guns N' Roses, "Sweet Child of Mine," uh, and I was definitely singing an octave lower than Axel
That's
by
awesome.
necessity.
That
Yeah.
the baseball thing is very relatable, man. I remember I grew up on a military base here. We had a big field in the back of our yard. Right behind our yard is a big field. Go out there and we took the lawnmower and we cut a baseball diamond into the field. People probably thought it was,
Uh huh.
but
Yeah.
hitting pop flies, playing catch, that's those are good. That's core memory right there. That's good stuff.
Were you a baseball kid?
Oh man, I was the worst athlete Northern Virginians ever
Yeah.
had. Yeah, I was no good.
Me. Me too, man. I played a lot of sports. Though. I played baseball for like 10 years, and I don't think I had the fire in me. Frankly, I didn't. But I did play intramural basketball
Oh,
one
nice.
season because it was all the kids that couldn't make the team. Right, it was like eighth grade, and our team went 0-12, bro. And that was my favorite sports experience of my life because one night the team that had won all the games, we were like within 5 points of them, and it really looked like we was gonna beat them, and that was cool as shit. We didn't beat them.
Yeah, man. It's looking back now, I didn't have what it took as a kid to do anything with it, but I'm like, man, if I had the chance to do it over, I'd get out there and rock it out, train hard, practice hard. And I just had, I grew up a heavy metal kid, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
I do
wanted to
know.
do other stuff.
Same. Well, honestly, if I had to do it over again, I would have put all that down and been more serious about the guitar quicker. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true too. So speaking of guitar, when did you actually start playing the guitar?
100 years ago, seventh grade. So we're talking like I don't know, man, 95. I'm 43.
Mhm.
I've been playing my instrument so long, and I should be so much better at it for having played it. Um, in fact, that band I was telling you about that I was singing in, I became the singer because I was the shittiest musician in the band, and so they default like I draw the short straw, man. You know,
Yeah. This making
and just started writing songs. Yeah. Well, they're all ripping like all the Randy Rhoads licks, dude. And I'm just like trying to do any James Hetfield rhythm at all.
Yeah, man, that's what's really fun about being a musician is that you're forever a student. You're
Forever.
always working on that skill all the time.
Yeah. And when you think you're hot, there's a kid playing for dimes in Nashville that will kill you.
Yeah.
You know. I
I would
think I've told a lot of guys starting out, and this is this may be wrong minded depending on where you're coming at music, but I think it's so much more important, and especially in this artificial age we're in now, to find your voice as quickly as you can. And I think it's hard to do as a very young person, but find your voice and refine that. And you want to learn all the modes, or you want to be able to hit all those Aretha notes, cool, man. But like, um, try not to do it like Aretha did it, because Aretha already did it, bro. Like, it don't matter, you know, Towns already did it, man. George Jones has absolutely already done it. So what are you gonna add to this kind of like patchwork quilt that we're all a part of? You know what I mean? If Justin Wells's little square is this big, well, I want that to have meant something, and have some reason to be on there, and not just be me trying to be George, you know?
Yeah, I think that's very real, and I think, when you start playing music, you can't help but try to sound like your favorite thing, it's you always think
Yeah.
that, but when you're undeniably honest with yourself, that sound comes through the way you sing, your range, the way you play, that's it. People buy authenticity and they can see through it.
Yeah. I think so. I hope so. I mean, we need that now more than ever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you know for sure that you're interviewing me right now? Like,
Yeah, who knows, right?
is this a chat GBT? I
Well, we did just have the hologram of Charlie Daniels. Didn't they have that somewhere this past weekend?
think I read about that. That would have been the weekend for that to have happened for sure.
Yeah. So, all right. So you took us back 100 years ago. When did you start actually touring and hitting the road full time as a musician?
Before a lot of people think, I used to be in a band called Fifth on the Floor, and we were around for 9 years, 4 albums, and we started in 2006. We started touring, I think what I would call touring in 2008, and this was like firmly in the MySpace era, man. And that's how we would tour. We didn't, when we started, we didn't have an agent, we didn't have a manager, nothing, and we were recording records in basements. Like, we didn't know what we were doing, and we just jumped in a van. We had like a shirt design. We had ACD, and it was very punk rock. And I say that looking back on it now, I didn't really know what punk rock was. There wasn't punk rock in that town I told you I grew up in. It was like Green Day, right? But we were very, very DIY, and we would just like hit homies up. Like you said, you're in Northern Virginia. Like, if somehow we were friends on MySpace, you can bet I'm gonna be in your DMs. I don't even think we're calling them DMs then.
Yeah.
And like, yo, what is the butthole bar that will let people like us in there
Yep.
under the guise of like, maybe we're country music, but we're not. But we're gonna sneak in and kind of pretend like we are, whatever it is. And it ended up being those punk rock spaces that I think I made most of the fans that I have today, or at least where it started.
Yeah. And I think looking back, I don't think we realized how good we had it with the MySpace era, actually.
I don't know. I think you're younger than me, but if you saw some of that, like, has there been a better platform for like finding, you know this guy from middle of nowhere Kansas who like writes the best songs you've ever heard, like,
Hmm.
uh there was no algorithm. If you followed somebody, you're gonna see what they're saying, man. It's like free advertisement 24/7.
That's very true. Yeah. So I am 40. I started touring in punk bands at 17 up and down the East Coast and living on awful places, sleeping on floors where my parents would probably beat my ass now if they found out.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure. Yeah,
like,
if you were raised like me, yeah, like my
yeah,
my parents are good people, bro. Like, they're like nice human beings. They don't deserve this.
yeah. But someday I'll tell my parents the full story. But until then, that's all they're getting.
You know how it is. I think I was talking to a buddy of mine, a guy named Tom Nato. He plays with John R. Miller, used to play with me, and we were talking about the younger cats tour, and I said, I think it's probably a good thing. Like, they definitely care about mental health, and are even aware of what that is, and they know what is too much, and I don't think they're drinking everything in every bottle. And he's like, yeah, man, but I think there's something to. He called it suicide touring. He's like, I think there's some skills you pick up in that are irreplaceable. And yeah, I think it is. But I don't know if those skills are necessarily a good thing. But yeah, we can sleep on floors.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know how to get free coffee in hotels we did not book.
Right. I know how to hold myself to come off a little bit older to hang out in dive bars and no one will ask me a question.
I know how to sleep in spaces you're not supposed to sleep in.
Yeah. A human body shouldn't contort that way, but it does.
No, yeah, it's like, dude, you are standing.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
standing in the corner.
So
Oh man,
I've had the luxury of seeing you perform before, down in Richmond, opening for the guys in American Aquarium, and
yeah.
you put on a hell of a show. But you've got a lot going on.
Thank you.
You gotta sing, you gotta play guitar, and you gotta be captivating. So
Yeah.
what are some of the biggest challenges you face when it comes to bringing all that together on the stage?
Well, so you saw me solo, and I feel like it's a very different show than with a band. And the one thing you'll notice is with the band, I don't talk as much, and that's by decree, by my own decree, and sometimes the boys, because we really just want to play. And I think me rattling on like I'm doing right now, it's like my anxiety or whatever, especially if I'm opening. And I don't, if especially if I feel like there's not a lot of people there that know who I am. It's like, uh, it's honestly some of the bad habits we were talking about that come from playing in places where nobody gave a shit about you or even knew that there was going to be music that night.
Right.
And I felt like sometimes I don't know, you get kind of quick on your feet, man, because you're literally playing for people who don't like you. And I still to this day find myself being needlessly combative with audiences that have paid a good amount of money to see me or whoever else I'm opening for, maybe. And I'm really trying to tamp that down. But you're giving me too much credit if you think there's too much conscious thinking. It's literally off the cuff, and sometimes I'll be singing or talking about something that just happened earlier because my broken brain is what it is. That, like, if it's not interesting to me, I don't think that I can put on a show that's going to be interesting to you. I'm not really good at like turning the character. Like, this right now is very similar to the thing I will do on stage this weekend.
Right.
Um, maybe to a fault.
But sometimes it's like armor, right? It's like
It is.
I consider myself a extroverted introvert. I work with clients all day long, telling stories, talking, hanging out, and you have to have some kind of character. But then at the end of the day, when I get in the car, I turn the music off. The windows are down. I'm listening to the wind. You kind of switch gears and switch modes a little bit. And I would imagine it's the same thing as getting on stage. It's like you kind of have to slap yourself awake a little bit, get on up there. And like you said, people paid good money to come and see you, but also they're there to see you, so they want to hear what you have to say, and it's going to be interesting to them, no matter what you're saying.
I hope so. I think so. I really struggle with the lines sometimes, man. Sometimes, like, I've worked myself up into like crying over a story on stage, which somebody would be like, "Well, that's being honest." Yeah, but like also we are professionals. We need to be professionals and that kind of thing. But it is a lot. There's a lot of spontaneity in what I want to do, and that's not always the most professional thing. And so I try to veer towards. I mean, look, dude, I'm doing it right now. Like I get behind the veil too much and how the sausage is made, but I don't know, man. The time for bullshit has passed. Like I think I think there's a reason a lot of this kind of music in this genre we're in started popping because they were feeding everybody the most plastic bullshit imaginable, and especially in country music, right? And I don't know. I think that's why people are gravitating towards it. I hope, but sometimes I feel like I'm just a mumbling asshole on
No,
stage.
no, it makes sense, and you're making me kind of think back a little bit. I remember, playing in punk bands. We had the walls of amps, and it's like you were saying, playing with the band. It's easy to just in between songs not have to say a whole lot, and you're letting the feedback build. Everyone's taking a breath, and it was very Ramones Motorhead style, so we could just kind of look at each other, click into the next song, and keep going, and then it was
Yeah,
good. I started playing acoustic shows where it's just me and a guitar, and then I realized, oh shit, I have to actually stay captivating. I have to keep you
Yeah.
in pulled in somehow. I've got to keep
Yeah.
involved in what I'm doing because any empty space, especially in today's world, like you're saying over COVID, dude, we were constantly bombarded with sensory overload all the time, and people's attention span has tanked so much. So if you've
Yep.
got a little bit of lag in between songs, you're not saying anything. Well, suddenly the crowd volume is coming up. People are
And
talking.
they got the phone out.
And they
Or again, if you're playing the spaces I played, they already had their phone out. They're already talking when you start, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
brutal.
It's like I'm talking about some of these experiences that I'm kind of glad younger cats are maybe not going through. There weren't all these venues in Kentucky when we started, man. Not for this kind of music, you know. It wouldn't. Nobody knew how to go to a show and like pay a ticket price. You're out of your mind. Like
Yeah.
maybe a cover. So were you guys like your band, your punk band? Were were you kind of combative? Like, did you feel a wall, or I shouldn't say a wall per se, but did you feel a little like us versus them with the audience, or was y'all's crowds pretty friendly?
Yeah, it depended on the show. Just show by show was different every time, and we weren't afraid to brawl if we needed to, and we would play shows
100%.
with like the local MCs, motorcycle clubs, and we kind of ran in that circle out here with the booze fighters for a little bit, and um, doing big man shit at a very young teenager age that we should have not have been doing. So sometimes we
Yep.
had to be combative, and sometimes we were there to have fun, and I think in the early 2000s, when street punk was still kind of like considered scary for the most part, especially here in Northern Virginia, um,
Yeah.
you could have some crowds that would want to,
Yeah.
fight you. We played a Spanish rock festival somehow. We got put on a Spanish rock festival, and the crowd was throwing heat like bricks and mud and beer bottles, and they were good like maybe 50 yards away because there was like a motocross thing happening too. And I remember we got off stage and I was like, that was wild. And the promoter said, dude, they loved you. That was the best response for a Spanish rock festival we could have ever asked for.
Hell yeah.
I'm thinking we're gonna
It
have
sounds like some heavy rebel shit.
yeah, we're gonna have to get off the stage with like switchblades in hand, but they were like, no,
We
just
did. Yeah, no, we always, my whole band always had knives on us, man, because
yeah,
we were too drunk. We knew we shouldn't carry anything heavier than that because we
yeah.
were dumb drunk rednecks. Uh, but yeah, dude, I can't believe I'm telling you this. I don't know that you can both see this. Yeah, you
Okay.
kind of can.
Uh-huh.
I I will make this rather long story really quick, but I had knocked on this window of a door that was this bar that was like an old house, and it's like one of those little like what like 8 by 10 window panes, and the pane cracked. I wasn't being an asshole, just is weak glass, and it cut my knuckle up. And this is before there was marketplace healthcare, and I called my old bass player. He'd become a doctor, and I said, "Hey, man, that like cauterizing thing that they do in the movies, like, is that legit? Like, will I get like?" He's like, "Don't do that." And I was like, "Yeah, but no, like, is it gonna get like infected?" So he's like, "No, it's gonna hurt like hell. Like, don't do that, stupid. Like, go to the doctor." I'm like, "I ain't got no money, bro. I ain't go to the doctor." And so, guitar player at the time and that band, we just did the freaking lighter on a knife blade, and like that sealed up that knuckle, man. Like, I don't think that young kids need to do that. I don't think they're missing anything.
I tell my kids all the time about like putting super glue in cuts and holes, and they're just like, it blows.
Always.
Yeah, they're like, what are you
I,
talking about?
I, I think Stevie did. I think Stevie Ray Vaughan did that, man. Like that's a professional.
Yeah, he's like, "Look, I've scraped my fingers along something. I just put a little super glue in that callus. I'm good to go."
Yeah, we patched tires that should have just been retired, bud.
Oh yeah, yeah,
For
absolutely.
sure. For sure.
So you spend a lot of time on the road, man. What do you put in your go bag to maintain your survival on the road?
Well, now I'm kind of old, and I feel like I'm definitely the dude that young me would have clowned on because I like comfort now. I ain't I ain't sleeping on the floor, man. If I ain't earned a bed, I ain't got no business in this game anymore. But usually I like to have a book that I won't open. because I'll probably be reading about overdrive pedals on Reddit.
Yep.
Uh, I like to bring some legal or illegal thing to keep me to sleep.
Mhm.
And I like I'll have just depending on what season it is, this thing called a My Pure Mist. It's just like a vaporizer, just inhale. I blew my vocal cords in 2019. I lost like it is almost 6 months of work, man. It's really scary, and I had to go through vocal therapy and stuff. And it's just from being, same thing we're talking about, being young and untrained and being a dumbass,
Yeah.
um, and a drinker back then. I'm not anymore, but uh, and that's about it, dude. And I I'm mobile and I kind of sweat and stuff, so I like to be clean. I like to, clean socks, man. Like I always got everything that I carry, my toolbox, everything has a pair of fresh socks, and I don't play that game. Like same thing. Hey, did y'all if y'all wore cowboy boots? I don't know. Uh, Man, you get athlete's foot and you're rocking cowboy boots on a tour. Ain't that hell? Did you do that?
Dude, well, I've only had access to it one time. It was bad.
And you can't get rid of it. It takes like a month.
No, and the things are peeling off, and yeah, it's
All
not.
your viewers are like have all logged off at this point. Like this is it. They're like this. They said this was rated PG. I'm out. I'm out.
My favorite tour advice I ever heard was from Dimebag Darrell's interview way back in the day. He said, you take Pedialyte if you're a drinker, you gotta put
Yep.
the electrolytes back in there, and
Yep.
baby wipes. He said you can
Yep.
be as you want, but you get in there with those baby wipes, get up in the pits and all your crevasses, and you're good to go.
Homeboy being from Texas, I can't believe he didn't say baby powder too, though, because that was my thing at the time. It had to be baby wipes and it had to be powder. Specifically, if you could get down in the deep south, that monkey butt, like in Louisiana, you get that monkey butt powder, brother. You could stop an ocean with monkey butt powder.
Yeah. That well, I guess now you can get what is it called? Dude wipes.
Yeah, nah, come on. Whatever's cheap, dude. Whatever's cheap.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be buying dude wipes.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's probably a blue tax on that. It'd be like the dude version of the pink tax for the ladies.
yeah, exactly. So, Justin, do you have anything you want to promote or that you're allowed to promote right now? This will probably come out in about a month.
Oh, cool. Well, then I will have just got off the road with Lucero, who are probably my favorite crew to run with, and I've had the opportunity to tour with some really cool cats. But they're all a bunch of sweethearts, and since we are fast forwarding into the future, that was the best tour. You guys should have been there. If you weren't there, you're all assholes. Um, Other than that, no, man, we've got a couple of shows in my markets with the boys coming up, and I have been laying low and being in dad mode, which had a lot to do with our scheduling issues. So again, I apologize for that humbly.
I get that absolutely. As a dad, I get it, man. That's why I'm like, look, I'm easy. You need a bump, we're fine, man. We're
You got to watch Toy Story 5. Like if Toy Story 5 supersedes all Daddy's work, bro.
That's right. Where can we find you
Yeah,
online?
JustinWellsMusic.com, and that's all of my handles except for Twitter because it was too big and Twitter's dead anyway. It's just a bunch of mean asses, so just don't go there.
Everyone's at war with each other right now, man. Well, look,
I
man.
won't play it. I won't
No,
play it.
me neither. Well, look,
No.
like I said, we keep them pretty short and sweet. Just stay online with me for 1 minute, but we'll end our episode here. So thank you, brother.
Yeah, dude, and thank you for having me.